Oh, this is the only downside to biking. The weather and the rain. Although I'm not doing too bad, I'm not getting wet, and I'm not too bad in the rain actually. I think I'm alright in the rain. Don't really have any issues. I've only ever come off once in the rain, and that was because I was going round a roundabout. It was heavily raining. I went into this little dip. It was filled with water, probably diesel too. So as the bike was turning, it was tilting, and then it tilted too much, and I basically just low-sided on the roundabout. But because it was wet and it was raining, I kind of just rolled. I didn't really have any injuries, just bruising really. But other than that, I feel like because I got my bike in the winter and spent most of my first time riding in the rain, I feel like I'm pretty alright. I don't think there's too much I really need to do. It's just ride a bit slower, just be easy on the throttle, don't go racing off start lines like the traffic lines or anything. There's just no point really, is there? And that's it really. Don't go taking corners like bloody Rossi and Lorenzo and all those racers, you know. Just ride a bit smoother, that's all you got to do. And that's all I do. I mean, my bike's got like the skinniest tyres in the world, and it's fine. Not really bothered by the rain. I actually love the rain as well, and we really did need this this weather. It's been so dry for so long, and the one reason I love the rain is because I feel like it just revives everything. It's such a natural thing that the world needs, everyone needs, people need water as well, and it just refreshes, replenishes, and just revives everything. And I feel like that's good. That is good. So we kind of do need it. And I'm actually wearing, I found my trousers that I used to have, my original bike trousers, which were textile, and they were waterproof, they were really warm, they were the best trousers ever. And I still have them, and I realised I haven't actually worn them since I crashed in them. And they actually came out alright. They had a few scrapes on them, but they weren't too bad. It was my jacket that was mostly destroyed. That was also textile, and that's what gave me a permanent scar now on my left arm. It doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon, so I'm just going to assume it's going to be a permanent scar. But yeah, so I thought, it's raining, I don't really want to get wet. My leathers are not waterproof. I mean, the jacket that I've got on at the moment is all right to an extent, but heavy rain, no. So I thought, I'll wear my trousers, and hopefully then I don't get wet, because the worst thing ever when you're riding in the rain is when all the water builds up on your tank and your crotch, and then you just, all the water seeps in, and it's like you've wet yourself. It's horrible. But if you wet yourself, it'd be warm, wouldn't it? So it'd actually be a little bit better. But when all the rain goes in, it's cold and it's horrible. And so far, I'm not getting wet, so I feel good. Although I don't know if I'm actually going to make it on time to where I need to be today. I'm actually on my way to get my implant changed, because it's due to be replaced. Well, it's not really due until July, but I thought I'd get it done sooner rather than later. You can never be too safe. I mean, I personally think, in my opinion, that the implant is probably one of the best methods of contraception there is. I mean, if you compare it to condoms and the pill, the reason I got the implant was because I didn't want to... I'm so forgetful, and I know that I wouldn't forget anything as important as the pill, you know, because if you forget it, that's it, you're going to get pregnant. And I do not have the money, nor the time, nor the effort or energy or anything like that to have a kid at this age right now. I don't even have my own place, so no. And the guy that I'm with at the moment, he doesn't want kids either, so it works out. And my implant's been fine for ages. I feel like it's worked the best for me compared to other things. And actually, just using condoms on their own aren't actually that reliable, and that shocked me. When I was first looking at different methods of contraception, I was looking at the statistics of them. And yeah, the condom shocked me. It really did shock me. I think it was like 98% reliable or something like that. Or I think it was even 96 or 97. The pill is about 98, and the implant is 99.9 or something. It's the most reliable one. But some people don't get on with it because it can cause you to get a lot of acne. Sometimes it makes people put weight on. I mean, I was quite slim at the time that I first got it anyway, so I thought if I put weight on, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it was fine for me. It stopped my periods entirely, and it was really good. So I really enjoyed it. But then I started I've recently been having like a period every other week for like 2 months, and it's the most annoying thing. So I was like, that's it. That's it. We're going to speed up the process and get you changed. Because I was worried. I was like, oh, does this mean like it doesn't work as well? Am I more likely to get pregnant? No, it just means that the hormones that stop you having your periods have worn off a little bit, but it still works as the contraceptive. So that was reassuring to hear. And the doctor was just like, yeah, probably best to get it changed early anyway, because that way it will stop your periods again. So hopefully that's what happens. Bit of a weird subject to be talking about. I mean, most of my subscribers are men, so they probably don't really care or want to know about any of this, but you know, it's life, it's what happens, it's what us ladies have to think about, you know, because you can just, you know, shove it in, and even if just a little bit comes, oh Jesus, even if it just a little bit comes out, you know, that can still get us ladies pregnant. And we got to think about this, because, you know, if you're a guy, yeah, you've got that kid for life then as well. But if you're a lady, you've still got to go through the whole pregnancy, and then you've got to give birth, and it's, yeah, I can't be dealing with that at the moment. I am not ready for thy children. But yeah, I'm supposed to be there at 1:30, and I left about 10 to 1. And I think it takes about 45 minutes to get to this one place that I know. So I don't know if I'm actually going to get there on time or not. I hope so. It'll be a bit awkward if they're like, sorry you're late, we can't do this now. Oh, see, look, this is what you have to watch out for now. Now the rain's getting heavier. There's a lot more water on the roads, and this is when you can get a risk of aquaplaning, which you do not want to do on a motorcycle. Yeah, I've never had any issues with the rain ever on my bike. The only problem is just getting wet, and then also your visor. At the moment, I found this system, it's working great. My visor is semi-open, semi-closed, but to the point where the rim of it isn't in my eyes, so I can see, and it's not fully closed, it's not fogging up. Even though I do have an anti-fog insert, it kind of doesn't work as well as it did when I first got this helmet. I have had it for nearly 2 years. It's working great, and my face isn't really getting wet, so it's not too bad, it's going well. I've got my heated grips on, so my hands will be nice and warm, and I will remember to turn them off, because oh my god. But the annoying thing is I don't know what time it is, and I don't know how long this is taking me to get here. It's been a pretty smooth journey so far, but yeah, who knows, hopefully I'm not late. But also, another thing I wanted to talk about, I've done my Japanese now, it's done, my exam is done, and I had a really fun, enjoyable journey to London. It was nice, but I don't really know how I did in the exam. I think I probably failed, because it was going alright for a bit, but there was a lot of stuff I didn't really know, and in Japanese they use a lot of Chinese characters that the Japanese call kanji, which they can use as a whole word, like a reference to like a whole word basically, and like two together means one word, sometimes one on their own can mean a word, and all sorts, rather than just spelling it out basically. And that's what I struggle with the most, because there's like 2,000, there's so many of them, and there's just no way you can learn them all that quickly. It takes so long, and there was loads of that I didn't understand, and because I didn't understand it, I didn't know what word it was, and because I didn't know what word it was and it wasn't spelt out, I didn't know what a sentence would be talking about, because you kind of need, like, you know, nouns and things like that to understand what the sentence is even about. So that meant that, because there's quite a few different parts of the exam, there's part of the exam where you have to read a passage and then answer questions about it. There's one part where you have to translate a whole passage from Japanese into English. There's also a part where you get asked questions in Japanese, and then you have to answer them in like basically a mini essay in Japanese. I was fine with that. That was fine. I feel like I did good on that part. It was just the translation was hard, because where I didn't understand what some of the sentences were, it meant that I wasn't able to understand the whole sentence, so I wasn't able to fully translate it. It'll be like saying, I went to the shop and bought something. It was tasty, and then I also went to somewhere, and then it'll probably ask you to translate that, and it's like, oh, I can't really, and some of it needs to be exact for you to get a point, so it's kind of a bit, yeah, it didn't really work. I had to translate some of it. It was about these three, I assume, siblings, at the Olympics, because it said something like someone's name, 3 people, and then a kanji that I didn't know. So I thought, does that mean that they're siblings? Does that mean, because it wasn't the one for family, and I thought, I don't really know what they're saying. So I was like, these 3 siblings left the Olympics, which makes no sense to me, but that's what the kanji was that I saw, was exit and leave. So I thought, did they leave the Olympics? So yeah, it didn't really make sense. It didn't really make sense, unfortunately. And I had about 15 minutes left, because I decided to leave the 1-mark questions, like read a paragraph about something and then answer a question like, what's another word for this, or how do you spell this? And I didn't know some of them, so fucking hell. So I left them. I thought I'll come back to them later, and then by the time I came back to them, about 15 minutes left, and I thought, yeah, that's loads of time to do those little mini questions and just bump up my points, and I ran out of time, and I was like, so loads of questions unanswered, loads of them I know are going to be wrong. Yeah, so I don't think I got enough points to pass, basically, which is kind of a bit sad, because I did pay, you pay a lot of money for the lessons, which I do, for my own personal reasons anyway. I just enjoy it. It's something I like to do. It's like a hobby, so I don't mind that. But then I had to pay for the exam, and yeah, so it's kind of like money wasted. But at the same time, it was a really fun, enjoyable journey, and even though I do feel like I've let some people down because I've kind of like failed, well, I don't know yet. I might have passed. If I pass, then I'll be pleasantly surprised. But we'll see, I guess. We shall see. Even if I don't pass anyway and I fail, at least I had the experience of taking the exam. I can always do it again next year, even though it'll be harder, but I'll have longer to practice. And also, I feel like my Japanese has improved a lot, so I might still, practice it anyway, and maybe even make some more videos so that I can practice my speaking and things like that, so that I can still get, something out of it, because I do really enjoy learning the language, and it is interesting and fun to me. So it was good. The train journey was fun. I got to see a squirrel friend. Everyone loved that video, and it was nice to just get out and just go somewhere. I feel like I need to do that more often. That's why today's nice, because I got the day off and I'm just going somewhere, even though it's raining, but I don't really care. I'm not wet, I haven't got soaked, so the trousers are working. My jacket, I'm not wet from that, so that's good. And it's just nice, it's fresh air, everything is fresh and revived and new. The rain is replenishing life and all that, yada 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 yada. I'm just going on now. This is my old neighbourhood, guys. I used to live around here. I won't say exactly where, but I used to live in this area. And yeah, it's weird when I come back, because I think, I know the place so well. And it's weird when I ride my bike through here as well, because I think, I'm just on the roads that I used to always walk up and down. It's crazy. It's weird when you revisit a place you haven't been to for years, and I've not been here for years. And fuck, I've gone the wrong way. God damn it, I got distracted talking to you guys and reminiscing about old times. I actually went past the place I need to go. Ah! Perfect. There we are. All done. Now I'm going to go visit my parents. Hopefully don't get soaked. Oh, come on. I should have really wheeled this bike out before I decided to walk it back. Where are you going, buddy? You can have this space when I leave, if I can fucking leave. It's the only problem with having short legs. There we are. All done. Old one taken out, new one put in. Good to go for another 3 years. it was good. She said because I got it done early, like a few months early, it means that there was no risk of anything not working. She said that it means that I'm fully covered, so that's great. Don't have to worry about not being not having that protection for a bit or something. We did get a whole load of free condoms as well. Why not? She offered me some and I thought, yeah, why not? I'll take them, they're free. They do cost a lot sometimes, don't they, for condoms? I won't go into sort of, you know, what I use, whether I use them and all that stuff. No one needs to know my, you know, personal sexual history, apart from, you know, the lady who was asking me loads of questions about me, about my partner, about, you know, how often we do things and what we do. And I was like, just answering all those questions, but I guess I need to ask. It was funny because I told him about it. I was like, oh, she was just asking me all these questions, and he was joking, saying something like, oh, it's when you ask her, oh, why are you asking all these questions? And she just says, oh, no reason, I'm just being nosy. Just imagine that. Imagine she's just like, oh, I just wanna know. It's nothing to do with the your health. It's just because I want to know. Imagine that. Nah, it would have been to do with the health and things like that. Just what they got to do. This is a bit of a weird subject, isn't it? Really, talking about contraception and things like that. But you know, it happens in life. Things that do need to be talked about and people go through and all that stuff. For anyone who's interested, they've changed the place that they put them. They used to put it under your bicep, but now they put it on your bicep. Because apparently when they put it under the bicep, there was a lot of nerves and things there, and it was irritating a lot of people. So now they put it on the bicep because apparently it's a better place. It might have been good for those years anyway. So hopefully now it will stop those southern rains, as I now call them. But yeah, talking about condoms again, it is kind of a bit surprising about how expensive they are to buy. Like, you know, it's something that protects people from not getting impregnated. Some of them do cost quite a bit, and I think maybe they should all be free, because, you know, it's kind of really important. But I usually say, if anyone wants any free condoms, just go to your sexual health clinic and get them. There's no need to pay money for them when you can get them for free, is there? And also, I just want to say, although I do love these boots, I will say they're not very grippy for me in the wet. I keep sliding on my foot pegs, and I keep sliding on the ground. Sometimes, like on moss, I slipped a little bit. I don't know whether it's just because they're like sport boots, maybe they're not actually that grippy because they don't really need to be, or whether it's because they're new, or whether it's because my pegs are quite big. Maybe they're quite slippy when they're wet, but I didn't notice before. Who knows? But anyway, that's all for me today. You got to listen to me talking about, you know, sex and sexual things on a Reeno video, where most people think I'm really innocent anyway and don't do anything like that. So it's probably a bit odd for a lot of my subscribers, and a lot of my subscribers are men, so they're probably like, why do we want to hear about this? But you know, just sharing what's going on, and also saying that I'm so glad this Japanese thing is done now. Less stress. I don't have to come home from work and then spend all my time revising and stressing out over that, and then stressing out over work, and so much stuff was going on at the same time, and so much stuff is going on now, but it's so nice to just relax. Like yesterday it was nice, I just came home from work and I just chilled out. I can just relax now, which gives me more time, so I can do the videos, I can edit videos, and everything can get back to normal again on the channel. So let's look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry if this was a bit of a weird subject, but oh well, that's life. Bye guys, hope you're not getting soaked in the rain like I am, although I'm not actually getting that wet, which is great. But anyway, catch you in the next one. Bye.